All right, so today we're going to look at advanced factoring. And advanced factoring is different than the 5 steps to factoring because in this case, you have an a value in front of the x squared term that's not 1. So in this case, in this particular problem that you see on the screen, it is 8. Okay, so this causes the factoring process to be a little more complicated, but the good news is we have 2 different ways to show you to make this a little bit easier. Okay, so the first one is called factor by grouping. So here's our equation, or our expression, that we're going to be using. And step 1 is to multiply the first and last number. So we're going to take our 8 and our 15, we're going to multiply those two together, and that's going to equal 120. Step 2, now we're going to factor that 120 to get our middle number. Our middle number in this case is negative 43. So we've got to figure out what 2 factors of 120 can be multiplied together that give you 120, but when you add them, they give you negative 43. Okay, I'm going to give you a little hint. We're going to tell you. So those 2 factors are going to be negative 40 and negative 3. So if you multiply negative 40 times negative 3, you get 120. If you add negative 40 and negative 3 together, you get negative 43. Which brings us to step 3. With step 3, you're going to replace the middle number, our negative 43x, with our new factors of negative 40 and negative 3. It looks like this. So you can see here, we've taken the negative 43x out and replaced it with negative 40x and negative 3x. Now if we were to take this expression here on the bottom and combine the like terms, we'd end up with the same expression we started with. But we're not going to do that. We're going to move to step 4. In step 4, what we're going to do is we're going to group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms, and that's why this is called factor by grouping. So the first 2 terms were 8x squared minus 40x. The second 2 terms were negative 3x plus 15. Now something about this, we'll take a pause right now, is that you'll notice the sign of negative 3, the negative sign, is inside the second set of parentheses. Okay. Another question that students have with factor by grouping is, can I switch out the negative 3 and the negative 40? Can they switch places and it still work out? The answer is yes. Okay, the answer will be the same. The factors that you have might be in different orders, like one way you'll get one order and the next way you get a different order, but the factors themselves will be the same. Okay, and the order, because the order doesn't matter. Now that we've grouped these 2 things, we go to step 5. Step 5 is take out the common factors. Okay. Now in 8x squared minus 40x and in negative 3x plus 15, we're looking for the greatest common factors of those inside the parentheses. Okay, so out of 8x squared and negative 40x, we can take out an 8 and an x. Out of negative 3x plus 15, we can take out a negative 3 out. Now one of the keys to this is, you can see that in the parentheses that's left over, you have x minus 5 for both terms. Okay, if you've done this right, what's in the parentheses should be the same. If you do something where the 2 sets of parentheses are different at this step 5, then you've done something wrong. Okay, so the 2 sets of parentheses again must be the same in order to get this correct. All right, from here, we're going to take to step 6. We're going to complete our factorization. So what this does is, you're going to take the numbers on the outside of the parentheses, the 8x and the negative 3, you're going to put them together, and the x minus 5 just becomes one set of parentheses. And this is your answer, 8x minus 3 and x minus 5. Okay? So let's try another one. Let's look at another one and see how this works. So you have 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. Okay, again, you have an advanced factorization kind of question because the a value in front of the x squared term is not 1. So again, step 1, multiply the first and last numbers. So 6 times negative 5 gives you negative 30. Step 2, factor to get the middle number. So we take negative 30. We're going to find the 2 numbers that multiply to give you negative 30, but add up to give you positive 13, that number that's in the middle in our original expression. Okay, so what those are going to be is 15 and negative 2. Okay, so 15 times negative 2 is negative 30, and 15 plus negative 2 is positive 13. Which brings us to step 3. Replace the middle number of our original question with our new factors. Okay, So it's going to be 6x squared. We're going to replace 13x with 15x minus 2x, and then put minus 5 at the end. Okay, again, the positive 15x and minus 2x, if you did combine them, they'd end up being the same expression we began with. We're just not going to do that. Okay, we're going to be moving to step 4. In step 4, again, you're going to group the first two terms and the last two terms. So we take the same expression we just had, and we put parentheses around it. So the first two terms have a parentheses, and the second two terms have a parentheses. Again, the order that you put the 15x and the negative 2x, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, you'll still get the right answer if you do it reversed. Okay. So step 5, we take out the common factors of our parentheses. So out of 6x squared and 15x, we can take out a 3 and an x. And in the negative 2x minus 5, it seems like there's nothing to take out, but you can always take out a 1. In this case, we're going to take out a negative 1. So if we see those factors taken out, we're left with 2x plus 5 for both sets of parentheses left over. And that's good because, again, we are looking for those parentheses to be the same. If they're not the same, you've done the problem wrong. Go back and try something else. Okay, and that brings us to step 6, complete the factorization. You take the terms on the outside, the 3x and the minus 1, and they become a factor. The 2x plus 5 becomes the other factor. Okay, so this is factor by grouping. Now, that's one way to do these kind of problems. Okay, there is a different way, and we're going to show you that next. It's called the bottoms-up method. Okay, now some teachers like this, some teachers don't. Okay, it is a kind of like a trick method to doing this, but that's fine. Whatever works for you guys is what we want you to do. Okay, so we're going to do the same two problems we did before, but so you can see how that they come up with the same answer with different methods. So we have the same expression we had at the beginning of this presentation, the video. All right, so step 1 again is going to be the same. Okay, you're going to multiply the first and the last number. So the same step that we had for factor by grouping. So we get 8 times 15 is equal to 120 again. All right, step 2 is also the same. Factor to get the middle number. Okay, so if we factor this just like we did before, you have 120, and your factors are going to be negative 40 and negative 3. So again, negative 40 times negative 3 gives you 120. A negative 40 plus negative 3 gives you negative 43. But now the process of solving these, of factoring these, starts to change from the factor by grouping. Okay. Step 3 in this case is you're going to make fractions out of our factors. Okay. So we had negative 40 and negative 3. And we're going to use our a term in our problem. If you remember back to the original expression, the a term is the term in front of the x squared variable, and that was 8. So we're going to make fractions of the factors. So we got negative 40 and negative 3 as our numerators, and 8, the a term, as our denominator. Okay. So from here, you're going to take to step 4. You're going to reduce the fractions. Okay, so you're going to take each fraction and reduce it. So you got negative 40 over 8. You can reduce that by 8. And you got negative 3 over 8, which can't be reduced at all. So we're going to have negative 5 over 1, and then negative 3 over 8. So those are our reduced fractions. Which brings us to step 5. Your factors are going to be the fractions starting at the bottom. So how this looks is you're going to put an x next to the number in your denominator of your fractions. And that becomes the factor. The bottom number, your denominator, becomes your first term of your factor. And then your numerator becomes the second one. So we have x minus 5 and 8x minus 3. So you're going to write them down. That's it. That is the bottoms-up method. Let's show you one more time with the same exact problem we had for the factor by grouping, the second problem that we did. We had 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. We're going to do the bottoms-up method with this, just so you can see an example. Okay. So again, step 1, you're going to multiply the first and last number, which gives you 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. All right. Step 2, factor to get the middle number. So you have negative 30 if you factor that to get you 13, when you add the two numbers together, you're going to get 15 and negative 2. Okay, and again, these two steps are the same as if you did factor by grouping, right? They start to diverge when you get to step 3. Step 3 is you make the fractions out of factors. Okay, so our factors were positive 15 and negative 2. And the a term of our original expression was 6, so that's going to be our denominator. Okay. Step 4, we're going to reduce the fractions. So our fractions of 15 over 6, you can reduce 15 and 6 by 3. So you have 5 over 2. And you can reduce negative 2 over 6 by 2. You'll get negative 1/3. Okay. So that's reducing the fractions. Now you can just do reducing fractions in the calculator if you'd like to. If you don't want to think about it, it's pretty simple, just a couple keystrokes, okay? All right, which brings us to step 5. In step 5, your factors are the fractions starting at the bottom. So again, if we put up the fractions we just had on the board or on the screen, put an x in the denominators for both denominators, you're going to make your factors out of the fractions. Okay, so it's going to be 2x plus 5, and you're going to have 3x minus 1. Those are going to be your factors. Okay, so now we have seen the factor by grouping, and we've seen the bottoms-up method. Now, whichever factorization method you use is up to you. Okay, whichever one works best for you is the one we want you to pick. So we're not saying you have to pick one or the other. Just pick whichever one works best for you. And that's it.